All right, here we go. Last problem of the section, 3-36. Says, Giuseppe decides that he really wants some ice cream. So he leaves the house at 3 o'clock p.m. and walks to the ice cream parlor. He arrives at 3:15. The ice cream parlor is 6 blocks away. He buys an ice cream cone and sits down to eat it. At 3:45, he heads back home, arriving at 4:05. Find Giuseppe's average walking rate in blocks per hour for each of the following situations. So I've kind of highlighted here blocks per hour because it's important that we remember that that's the rate that we're using. So blocks is one of our units, hours is the other. Letter A wants us to look at his average blocks per hour for his trip to the ice cream parlor. So let's look at what's happening. We've got Giuseppe leaves his house at 3 o'clock and he is traveling to the ice cream parlor here. So basically he goes from 3 o'clock to 3:15, he is traveling there. So he's gone 6 blocks in 15 minutes. And 15 minutes is like basically a quarter of an hour or 1/4 of an hour. So if we wanted to see here his rate in blocks per hour from home to the parlor, we're thinking about 6 blocks in 1/4 hour. Now we want to know for 1 whole hour, right? So we're going to take it here, we're going to think about it. If we wanted to turn this into 1 whole hour, we'd have to multiply it by 4. And if we multiply the bottom by 4, we're going to have to also multiply the top by 4. And that will give us our rate in blocks per hour. So 6 times 4 is going to give us 24. And then 1/4 times 4 is going to give us 1. So we're talking about right now 24 blocks per hour. Now he sits here at 3:15 and he eats his ice cream cone until about 3:45. So there's no traveling going on at all in this time. And at 3:45 he decides it's time to head home. So he's traveling home here. And at 4:05 he reaches his house. So now 20 minutes has elapsed on the way home, but he still traveled just 6 blocks. So he's gone 6 blocks. In this case, instead of doing it in 1/4 of an hour, or 15 minutes, he's done it in 1/3 of an hour, which is what 20 minutes would be. So if we wanted to break down that into his blocks per hour, we're going to look at 6 blocks. And that is out of 1/3, like we just said. So we're going to multiply this by 3/3 to turn this into 1 hour. So we're looking at 18 blocks in 1 hour. So his rate is 18 blocks per hour. And that's, remember, going home from the parlor back to his house. So now they want us to come up with the entire trip, including the time spent eating. So we do have to use this part of our information on this one. So the entire trip, if we look here, lasted from 3 o'clock to 4:05. So that's a total of 65 minutes. And how many blocks did he travel in that time? Well, he did 6 on the way there, and then he had 6 on the way back. So we're looking at right now 12 blocks he's traveled in the trip. And it was a total of 65 minutes. And let's think about that, 65 minutes. That's like saying 1 hour and 5/60ths, right? 5/60 is the same as 1/12. So we're going to say 1 hour and 1/12. But I'm going to actually change this into an improper fraction so that'll make it easier for us to come up with the answer. This 1 hour here is like 12/12. So if we have 12/12 plus that 1/12, that's the 5 minutes. This is 60 minutes. This is 5 minutes. That gives us 13/12. So he's done 12 blocks in 13/12 hours. So we want to end up here figuring out what that rate is. We can just do 12 divided by our 13/12. And when you do that, you should end up with, and I'm going to just give you the answer, it ends up being about 11.07 when you do that. I'm going to round it to, I think it was like 11.08 blocks per hour. And I display that on the screen here, but my calculator, my on-screen calculator seems to be having some issues. So just know that if you do 12 divided by 13/12 there, it's going to end up giving you about 11.08. If you want to do the fraction part of it, I guess we could do that for you. So it's like 12 times the reciprocal of this, which would be 12/13. So that would be like 144 divided by 13, which is where this 11.08 is coming from. All right, hopefully this one helps you out here. Hopefully it makes a little bit more sense about what it's asking you to do and what the answers are. If you have questions, please make sure you ask your teacher. Otherwise, thanks for watching.